much.
Are we live?
We're live.
Well, why are you acting crazy?
Because that's what I do. That's what I do.
So we hear that, the latest thing is Trump trying to cut out. I said his name. You let me say his name.
The melon felon.
The orange turd. Is trying to cut out $800 billion. Take it out of Medicare.
Medicaid.
Medicaid.
Right?
Medicaid.
See, and here's the thing, because most people don't even realize that they have Medicaid. Like most of the ACA, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, is based upon Medicaid, and it's called different things in different states, right? So like in Cali, where we're from,
right,
it's called Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal.
Yeah, and Maine is called Maine Care.
I like that. I think that's cute. Maine Care.
That's
cute. It's cute. That's some good marketing. But which country? Okay, if you're watching live, hey. If you're watching from the future, I hope the future is wonderful for you. I want to know, which country do you think has the most expensive healthcare in the whole entire world?
Oh, that's easy.
Hold on. All right. All right. So which country has the most expensive healthcare in the world, and which country has the best healthcare system?
I know who it's not.
Okay.
And it's not America.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely ain't America. It's not America, y'all.
From all the studies that I've seen, it's probably an Asian country.
Yeah.
Like maybe China, Japan, Korea.
We're going to let you know. We're going to let you know. But not only if you've answered it, okay, because I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm looking at the chat. Not only does America have one of the worst healthcare systems in the world, it also has the most expensive healthcare in the whole entire world. Not one of the. No, that's not what I said. I said the most expensive.
But the most expensive?
The most expensive. Exactly. What y'all doing?
I can't believe it's the most expensive.
It's the most expensive.
Wow. Alicia and I have been living in Lisbon, Portugal for nearly 3 years now.
Yep. And it's been nice to have good, affordable healthcare. So let's talk about that, because this is probably one of the questions that we get asked the most.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think? Like, what about the healthcare? What about the healthcare? What about the healthcare? What about the healthcare? Like, when we're talking about the fact that we believe that every single Black person who is free thinking and should move out of the United States. Number one, because it does not deserve all of your Black brilliance, as my mentor Rashida says. It does not. Value you, nor deserve all of your Black brilliance. And don't think that you have to be a martyr because our ancestors did X, Y, and Z. No, they did X, Y, and Z so that we would have the privilege to choose. Okay? So we've been living here in Lisbon, Portugal
for almost 3 years.
It's been nice.
Yeah.
I just went to the doctor yesterday, or was that the day before yesterday? The day before yesterday. And I left without having to pay anything. Now, I probably have a bill, but it's probably about 15 euro. 15 euro. But there was nobody like blocking my entrance or exit or anything like that saying, oh, we want this 15 euro right now.
Asking you for a credit card when you walk in the door.
Exactly. So, all right. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. But first, hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retirement abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan We help them get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early. All right,
Early is
sweetie.
a good thing.
Early is always a good thing. So what are we going to talk about today?
So we're going to give you 8 of the top countries with great low cost health care.
Right, for African
Americans living abroad.
That's right. So for us, right, because we know we don't even have to say why we have to say for us. If you do not understand why we have to say for us, this is probably not the channel for you. What you think?
Yeah, probably,
Probably not.
I'd probably turn the channel.
Yeah. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in around 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all. We got a wake-up call. We looked at our money and it looked crazy. But we got our he didn't say it. We got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. If we can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You definitely can do it.
You can do it.
And you know what? If you go elsewhere to get your health care at a lower cost, you don't have to worry about going bankrupt.
Thank you. All right. So I like what we are talking about. What we are talking about to me seems like common sense. Okay. It seems like common sense. All right. So go ahead. Are we ready to get started?
Okay.
All right. So number one. Okay. And are these in any particular order?
They're in the order that they know.
No. So they're not in any particular order. We did research on this a few for a minute, and it's interesting because the first time that we did research on this, we got a list of countries, and then we asked different questions and we put different searches in and to start narrowing it down. And it wasn't until you said "good for us," right, in our inquiry as we started researching that the list changed. Okay. Some of the countries stayed on there that were always on there.
They were always on there. But some of them were like,
some Eastern European countries, some Eastern European countries that are low cost, have good health care, but do not necessarily welcome us. We don't have proof. Let's put it that way. We don't have proof that they welcome us. And we're not saying that they don't.
No, not at all.
But we don't have proof. All right. So number one is
Costa Rica.
Their healthcare is one of the best in Latin America and the world. Okay. Their Caja system and low-cost private healthcare is very, very affordable. As a matter of fact, you can live in Costa Rica for about somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's a comfortable living.
In their Caja system, I'm glad you said Caja because I didn't know if it was Caja or what. But their Caja...
He only speaks Portuguese, y'all.
Their Caja system is like universal health care.
Okay.
And when you become a permanent resident of Costa Rica, you have to sign up for it.
Okay.
Because a portion of your income goes to, your income payments go to
what if you don't have any income?
Well,
like passive income.
I don't know how it's taxed. I didn't see that.
How it's taxed, right? Okay. All right. So basically what they're saying
everybody pays into it.
And just like here in Portugal, right? You have a system that everyone basically has to sign up for it, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, then you're missing out, and there's no in between. There's no stopgap, right? All right, and then the other thing about Costa Rica is they have a pretty easy residency program. Mm-hmm. Their visas for retirement and for remote workers / digital nomads is good, and so it's easy. And you don't have to necessarily stay in country, like you do here in Portugal. So that's Costa Rica. they do have a thriving indigenous Black community and expat Black community. Number two.
Number two, Portugal.
We look, when we were looking this stuff up, I know y'all think,
No, for real.
right? I know y'all think that we like are gaming the system, but we didn't. Like this
No.
Portugal has showed up on every single list.
In one list, it showed up number one.
I have to tell you. So I went to a newer doctor to get all of the stuff that we need, and just the usual stuff. And she's like, so when's the last time you've had your heart examined? Nunca. Never. She's like, I said, I'm from Estados Unidos. I'm from the United States.
Yeah.
That's not compulsory in the United States to have your heart checked. So she's giving me an EKG like you, an EKG, a sonogram on my heart, 3D mammogram, a sonogram on my, there's like 3 different sonograms that are going to be going on throughout this trunk right here, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Compulsory. This is like standard stuff in Portugal, right?
It blew me away.
Right?
When they said, I was like, EKG. What? I thought when I did my first physical here, yearly physical, and I went to the doctor and he had EKG written out. I was like, did you see something wrong? Did you hear something wrong? What's this for? And he's like, no, it's part of your exam.
It's compulsory.
He said, I was like, not in the United States. How much more is going to cost me?
That part. You just trying to get some money out of it.
You going on vacation?
Right.
I used to always tell my doctor, you must be going on vacation.
In the United States, right?
Yeah,
Dentists too. Must be. Dentists too, because you done found all this stuff.
Found something extra.
No, it's true. Yeah. It's true. My dentist used to tell me, keep not flossing. Because I do have a ski trip coming up. Yeah. So the less you floss, the less I have to pay for my ski trip. You're going to pay for that ski trip for me.
Yeah. My dentist and my doctor and my mechanic
used to say that.
They say, hey, anytime you know Steve or mechanic, shoot. You go on vacation, I'll wait until you get back before I take my car in.
Really? Right. Speaking of Portugal,
who's coming to our June meetup this summer?
Yes. It's in, June 16th and 17th, right? 17th. Information is in the description below. All right. So here in Portugal, we have a public healthcare system. And it is subsidized, right, by the government. However, as expats, as immigrants to Portugal, it is mandatory that you have private health insurance. But you're still on the public system. So you're on the public system and you have private healthcare insurance. You have to have private healthcare insurance.
Right.
And private healthcare insurance can run you anywhere from like 40 euro per month to 200 euro per month. It just depends on your age and pre-existing, right, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that if you are not working in America and you need insurance and you do not qualify for Medicaid or Medicare because of age or whatever, household income, whatever, and then you try to get on the ACA. I've heard of price tag. Now, back in the days where it always had to be, what was it called? Cobra.
Oh, that's when you leave your job?
Yeah, Cobra. Like that's always going to be like anywhere from $700 to $1,500 a month. Here, we pay less than $200 a month for pre-existing older folks. I'm not going to say old. I'm going to say older.
Vintage
folks. So you can live here in Portugal Portugal is more affordable than the United States. I'm just going to say that. Obviously, the healthcare is, and the lifestyle is more affordable. In the rural areas, you can get away with getting rent for what, like 600 euro, 700 euro per month. And then in town for one bedroom, you know, in a neighborhood that an American would want to live in, 900 to 1200, something like that.
I'd say.
Yeah. There's a growing Black expat community here. And when we say growing, it's huge. It's huge.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I keep meeting people every day that I've never met before and who've been here for years. So it's huge. And so there's low racial tension, right?
Yeah, it's not. I've never run into any issues.
Exactly. And so as far as visas, it's an easy visa process. It's time consuming, and you've got to make sure that you want to live in Portugal. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's straightforward. It's
It is.
straightforward. It's easy. And, you know, for folks who have passive income, who can prove that they are making or receiving at least about $1,000 per month, you qualify. Or there is a remote worker / digital nomad visa that has higher income requirements. But it's very straightforward.
And I would also say, if you're looking at Portugal, be patient. Just put that feather in your cap and hold on to it.
All right. Number 3.
Panama.
They have a very, Panama, you know, because Europe is old.
Yeah, Europe's old.
Panama's new. And so they have very modern facilities, especially in Panama City, right? And you can get healthcare there at like what?
A third of the U.S. price. A third.
And then you can live there for, you know, anywhere between
$1,800 to $2,500.
Exactly. So they have a large Afro-Caribbean population, especially in Cologne and places like that. Plus
the Pensionado visa.
Exactly.
And they give you more discounts.
Yeah. Look, if you are a retiree, Panama's the place. Their Pensionado program is like off the chain. They give discounts everywhere, from groceries to healthcare, you know, glasses and everything in between. So that's Panama. And if you need help, if you're thinking about Panama is one of the places. If Costa Rica is one of the places, if Portugal is one of the places that you want to move to, we have our the folks that we actually, I don't know if I put it in there, but I will. If you're watching from the future, look again. It should be down in the description.
Zach and Anna.
Yeah, Zach and Anna from Start Abroad.
Start Abroad.
So that's who we recommend. There is a link in the description below. If it's not there right now, it will be there as soon as we are finished. All right, number 4.
Number 4 is Mexico.
Mexico.
With their fantastic, fabulous president.
Right? That's right.
Presidente.
Mexico's healthcare system is better than the United States, just like Canada's is, right? Like, it's so funny to me, all of the shit talking that they do, you know, the melon felon about Mexico, right? Trying to insinuate that it's not a good country.
Don't believe it. Don't fall for the hype.
Don't believe the hype. They have affordable private health care. Like, you could go to the dentist for about what? $30?
$30, dentist,
right?
$25 to your doctor.
Doctor's visit, $25, y'all. And they make house calls.
You go to get your prescription, which in Mexico, you can buy a lot of stuff over the counter. You just go to a pharmacy. But
you
if
don't
you're
need
not
a prescription.
sure of something, they have a doctor on site.
Yeah, at most of the pharmacies. Yeah. Mexico, like, people sleep Mexico. I'm sorry. They just do. And so it's very affordable. As y'all know, you can get rents for as low as $1,200, $2,000 in not in CDMX. Well, maybe in CDMX as well. Maybe in Mexico City.
Some of the smaller towns.
But cheaper in the smaller towns, right? And that's luxury living. So it's very friendly to Black expats. We've been there, Merida, Mexico City, et cetera, have large expat communities. Of course, Querétaro.
Plus, for everyone that wants to get back and forth to make sure they can see family or get back to family, the proximity of the United States, well,
So we don't so this is Thursday. This is our Thursday short, and we don't take questions from the audience because we answer a question that you have sent us. And so, Leonora, you can find that information in the description below. And CK, we are referring to both private and public because outside of the United States, in general, they work in conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They work in conjunction. All right. So number 4 was Mexico. Number 5. Malaysia. Top tier for medical tourism. Top tier. All right. You can get heart surgery there for 80% less than it would cost you in the United States. It's 1/5 the cost. Right. 20% of the cost. 80% less. What are we doing?
I mean, affordability, $1,200 to $2,000 a month
for rent, right? And that's luxury living. That's luxury living in Malaysia, like in some place like Kuala Lumpur or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And if you go to a city that is smaller, it could be even less. So they have the MM2H visa program for long-term stays. That's Malaysia. Y'all, they call Malaysia the United States of Asia. Don't sleep, Malaysia.
Yeah, and most people speak English.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
It's sad.
Most people speak English in Malaysia, as well as number 6.
Now, for all of our people that always get on us because we never mention it, we're mentioning it now. Ghana.
We've said it. There is a place in Africa that has better health care than the United States. Well, there's a lot. But the one that we are mentioning is Ghana.
I mean, you go to, they have a system that is constantly improving of private clinics, right, in the Accra area.
Yeah, especially Accra. So which is the capital, right? So if you're in the capital, you can go see a doctor for about $20.
$20.
$20, y'all. And because I am saying this because there is so much propaganda in America. A good many of the doctors in Africa studied in Europe, if that makes you feel more comfortable. It is very affordable in Ghana. You got to have your wits about you, but it is affordable. You can live in luxury for about $1,800 in rent. That's on the highest side, right? It obviously is welcoming to Black folks. They had the whole program of the year of return, right? That initiative, right? And then as far as perks, they have a visa, right to abode visa for anybody of African descent. So y'all, everybody who's watching us right now, you can get a visa in Ghana. I'm looking to see where we can get passports. Which African countries are going to give us passports? That's what I'm looking for. And so when we find that out, we will let y'all know. We've all done our DNA tests. And it's like, come on, we need some second citizenships. All these other folks, these European Americans, right? They're getting their second citizenships from grandpa because they ain't been in America that long, even though they want to tell us to go back to someplace, right? But anyway, we need to see where we can get those second passports, right? All right, number 7.
Number 7 is Colombia.
Colombia. They are ranked number 22 globally by the World Health Organization. Number 22 by the World Health Organization.
Well, we're no longer in the, we're not. We are.
We are, but y'all in the United States.
You're not in it anymore.
No. No, no. So they have very low cost private plans that are about like $50 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, $50 a month. Colombia. It's very affordable. In the cities like Medellin or Cartagena, what are you going to pay?
$1,200 to $2,000
right
a month.
Right. Max. That's again, that's luxury living. And see this, like if you look at the rent and you're like, well, gosh, that doesn't seem that cheap. What you have to realize is that food and everything else is a fraction of the cost. So even if you could live in some place in Alabama or Ohio or Indiana for $1,200 a month, you're still going to be paying $15 for eggs. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take all of that into account. So for instance, Rick and I pay $1,300 a month for rent. But at the end of the day, like with utilities and everything else, it ends up being about $1,500. And then food, like, eggs are still just, for a dozen of regular eggs, like
€2
to €3.
Yeah.
$2 to $4, depending on if they're medium or extra large, if they're organic or whatever have you, right? So you ain't gonna be paying no more than $4. You can get apples for like $1 a pound. So even though the rents may sound high, you have to realize that everybody else has normal food prices. They're not doing to their people what they are doing to y'all in America.
Okay.
Last but certainly not least, did we talk everything about Colombia, Afro-Colombian
culture?
Friendly locals, of course. Retiree visas require only a modest income. If I remember, it's like under 1,500.
We have a very good friend that lives there.
Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of friends that live there. All right, number 8.
Number 8 is Thailand.
Y'all.
You like Thailand. If you haven't been there, you'll love it.
Yeah, I do. Like, and I don't like humid heat, and all of Southeast Asia is humid heat. But man, there are, like, between Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, some cool ass countries. They really, really are.
They are.
And the people are cool.
Yeah.
The people are cool. So they have world-class hospitals in Thailand. World-class hospitals, especially like in places like Bangkok, right? At very, very low cost. You can live there very affordably for about what?
$1,000 to $2,000 a month.
All right. $1,000 to $2,000 a month. It's cheaper in different places. It just depends on where you are. So that's like Bangkok, right? And again, luxury living.
Mm-hmm.
In the touristy areas, they're very, like, in the major cities, I'm not going to say touristy areas. In the major cities, it is very cosmopolitan, right?
Yes.
So there are minimal racial issues. Like, I never felt anything.
No, not at all.
Not anything. If I felt anything, it was from the Russians in Phuket, because the Russians are feeling themselves in Phuket. But other than that, but from the locals,
no.
Love.
Yeah.
Right? Except for that one Uber driver. Other than that, love.
What one Uber driver?
You know that one Uber driver who dropped us off at the wrong place on purpose? Made us walk in that heat. So they have retirement visas that are available for people 50 plus. All right. So that is Thailand. We've got 2 little extras for you. We're not going to give you the total information, but the 2 bonus countries are
Ecuador
and
Vietnam.
Ecuador and Vietnam both have very good healthcare at a fraction of the cost that it costs in the United States, y'all. Your president is talking about cutting Medicaid, basically cutting the Obamacare. Instead of doing it like he did it the first time, where John McCain was able to vote no, right? He's doing it another way. He's coming in from underneath and taking the foundation apart. That's how you kill Obamacare. And Obamacare, to me, was just a stopgap. That was just a stopgap to get to universal health care, to get to affordable health care like they have in the rest of the world, y'all. Black folks, you do not have to remain in the United States being oppressed, being over policed, over and price gouged to death, and always on the verge of bankruptcy because of your health care. You do not have to be a slave to that job because you think if I quit my job, I'm not going to have no health care.
My health care is gone. And
it's not like that in the rest of the world. They don't tie health care to your job to make you a slave to the job.
Yeah.
It is not like that.
People aren't going broke.
Exactly.
Because of health care.
Exactly.
Only in the United States.
Only in the United States. So I'm sure you have more questions. If you do, book a call with us. We help folks move out of the country. We help folks get their money straight, right? We help folks start a side hustle so that they can make more money, so that they can leave, pay off debt, et cetera, et cetera. All of that information is in the description below. If you're coming to our meetup in June 16th and 17th, it's always like around Juneteenth week, right? Yep. It's always around Juneteenth week.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
A lot going on. People parties in the streets.
Yes.
For real.
For real. So that information is in the description below. And join our Fire Over 50 Facebook group so that you can have, the community that you need to get your money straight, to choose a different life outside of the United States, because they've lost their minds. You know it. We know it. We love you. And we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.